Hello everyone, welcome to this live session. And today's guest is someone really special and someone whom I really look up to and adore completely. Her name is Adhunika Prakash. She is a marvelous woman, and this is kind of like, a proud moment for me to have her here with us as a guest. I'll just get in, Vidya. She is the author of internationally best-selling book called Breast Potion. She is the founder of BSIM India.
Hi.
Hi, Priya. I'm so sorry. Yeah, let's just wait for a while till
Yes.
Adhunika joins in. In the meanwhile, I was just giving an introduction about her. Would you like to say a few words, Vidya?
Perfect. Uh, okay, I'm actually pinging her. 1 minute. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, BSIM was my go-to group during my breastfeeding journey. I think even you
Yeah.
are the group, right? Yeah. So it's like
Yes,
it's
yes,
like
I've been part of
so
that group for 3 years.
yeah, and it's so exciting, to talk to Ms. Adhunika Prakash, the founder of
I,
breastfeeding support for Indian mothers.
yes, I'm kind of like ecstatic about this entire live session. It's like, it's like a dream, truly
Yeah,
speaking. I guess she's here.
yeah.
Okay, I don't see her. I'll try to send her a request, okay?
Okay, yeah, yeah. Should Instagram me updated or something? Should I message her?
No, I don't think so because if it was the case, I would have got a notification regarding it. So I don't think so. I guess her Instagram is up
Okay,
to date. Just waiting for her to join. Yeah. Yeah, so guys,
and
I'll just
meanwhile,
continue with introduction
yeah, yeah.
about, yeah, Vidya, you were saying something?
No, no, I just wanted to say that if there are any questions you want to ask Adhunika, please drop in the question box below, and yeah, we'll ask her.
Yes.
Okay, she's
Let's
not able to
just wait
see
for
our
a
live.
while.
She says, yeah, yeah. Once I'm
Okay.
just responding to her. Okay.
Okay. So, okay, guys, I'll just continue with the introduction uh, about Adhunika, who's a guest today. She's the founder of BSIM. And BSIM, I guess most of you are already aware of it. It's a community on Facebook. Community, I guess, of more than 145,000 members, and it was selected as one of the top 5 communities by Facebook. Adhunika she has received the Wonder Women Award from the Ministry of Women and Child Development from the hands of Srimati Maneka Gandhi, Outlook Poshan Award from the hands of Honorable Vice President of India. She is also a co-author of international best-selling book called The Shakti Awakening. I guess there's a lot more than what we have just spoken here. There's a lot more that, yeah, I
Yeah.
see her. Let's get her in. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the request to go through, okay?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I think she might be coming live because she didn't respond here on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Mm,
Yeah, Vidya, if you want to add something till she joins, you can do that.
yeah. Okay. So maybe I will just tell how I had joined. So as soon as after my childbirth, right? The first thing my friend, she's okay, she's here. Adhunika is here.
She is unable to join. It says that
Yeah.
she is unable to join.
Shall I ask
Send her
her
the
to send?
She had
She
invite
also
first,
sent her.
then
Yeah, yeah. Hello, Ms.Adhunika.
Hi.
So nice to see you live. Can you? Yes, yes, we can see you, we can hear you. Thank you for joining.
I'm so
thank
glad.
you
I mean,
so
there are
much
some
for
network
joining us,
issues going
guys.
on here.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I just we're meeting for the first time. I'm Nilufar. I guess you've
Hi,
met
Nilüfer.
Vidya, right? Vidya, you have already spoken.
Yes,
And
not
I
on
should
call,
say,
but yeah.
okay, I should say this is just like, an moment for me. I'm like, I can't believe I would have never imagined this moment 3 years back. Because I was a new mother and one of my friends just invited me to BSIM and I was there and I had no idea, completely clueless. I didn't knew what to do, what not to do, and I never even thought that like being in a community complete strangers would give me so much of strength and support. It was like, something that was not me and it was me there, and it was just the best thing. I guess that I did after having my baby because it gave me so much of strength, so much of right information, so much of help and support from other moms out there. And it was like, it was like right middle of the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I'm awake, I'm struggling to feed my baby. And there I just opened the Facebook group and, I'm just posting something and someone is responding. It was just like, awesome. The kind of initiative that you have taken and the way it is, it's awesome. And I really I'm like I'm so happy for this live session. I'm so thankful to Vidya for making it happen because I can't believe that I'm actually you are like an inspiration and for me you are like a celebrity. I was like wow, like Adhunika Prakash, oh okay, who is she? Like it was not initially that I searched for you, but then like when I really benefited from PSIM, that was when I was curious, like who started this awesome initiative, and then I learned about you. I was like wow, this is really awesome. And having you here today, it's like, I really don't have words to express and say that, how happy I am. I'm just like, completely happy. I'm like on cloud nine, actually.
Thank you so much for all of those generous words. And I think it's people like you and me who make that community, right? So today, I remember that when I was struggling, there were other mothers who helped me. And it really changed the way my breastfeeding journey evolved. And I felt that that's exactly how I want to help other mothers. So I think it's really just about one person giving back to another person, and that's how it all helps, right? I mean, if we all start thinking, okay, just one little query, if I answer, how does it matter, right? But then when someone else does it and then another person does it, so it all adds up. So every little things, like it really helps. And these are just random acts of kindness according to me, right? There's so much goodness in the world, like always looking, like when someone has an accident there will be a person who goes to stop and help them, right? This is not covered in newspapers, this is not covered in some mainstream media that look, there are helpful
Yes.
people around. So it just, that's exactly what it is for breastfeeding mothers, the community, just so that we can help other mothers, like how we received the help, when we needed it. So thank you so much for all of those beautiful words.
Thank you so much for being here. It's like it's something like I can't thank you enough for that, and I can't thank Vidya enough for that. So it's just awesome. Yeah, Vidya, I'll let you speak a little because I think I can keep like going on with this.
Thank you so much, Alifa. Thank you so much for your kind words of appreciation.
Thank you, Adhunika. Uh, Vidya, you're not audible.
I think you're on mute.
We're not able
Not sure.
to hear you.
Yes, I was on mute. Sorry. My jaws are paining by, smiling and so happy I am.
Thank
And
you so much.
with that, I'll ask my first question, Adhunika. So BSIM was my first go-to group, okay? After my childbirth, the first thing my friend, literally what she sent was, she sent the Facebook link to the group and she said, first go and join it. That was the first thing I did. The second day after the childbirth, that was what she sent to me. Nothing. She didn't advise me anything. She said, just go and join. That's
Same
it.
here.
And I
Yeah,
did it.
same here. Okay,
And I was
that's
so
the way
happy.
it
Yeah.
happened to me.
Yeah.
It was Meenu sent me that
See,
link and she didn't even say anything. Nothing. It was like she just sent
yeah.
that link, okay, and I was like, okay.
Go join.
It was like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't even tell me
See,
join. She
see
just
the
sent me
impact.
that link. Yeah.
Exactly. See the impact. The impact of that group is so much. And okay, somebody's saying same here. Yeah. So if something is told right in the group, I want to blindly follow it, okay? But not when I'm hearing it from sister-in-law or mother-in-law or even my mother. No, I don't want to hear it from them, though they are telling the same words. And sometimes it so happens that they are telling something else, but we get good support from the support system from BSIM or any other support group, that for that matter. Why do you think that women feel approach they feel comfortable to approach through social media, or they support each other through via social media than physical, or whatever I'm saying is completely wrong?
No. I mean, I don't think there's some blanket right or blanket wrong in life, also in general, right? There's very rarely a blanket right and wrong. So it really depends. I think it's easier to connect with someone who's currently breastfeeding, right? So when my mother or my aunt is telling me that this is what worked for us, I am not sure, not because I don't trust what they say at all. It's just I feel that they may not remember the details of breastfeeding then. They may actually, right? But I just assume that it's not fresh in their mind. So similarly, like if I was talking to a friend of mine, then I would be more likely to, to believe her, or even my sister-in-law for that matter, or anyone in my immediate circle if they were actually breastfeeding at that time. So and interestingly, there were things that my mother told me when I started breastfeeding, and I didn't, know whether I should trust her or not. And like so many years later, I realized that this is how it should have been done. Like as an example, she would always tell me that offer the second breast. And I used to be like, no, I've read it somewhere. Or, that time there was no VSIM, there was no other support group. I read on some random website. And I said, okay, you have to offer only one breast per feed. And like so many years later, I realized that you actually have to offer the second breast, right? You don't have to just stop at first and let the child decide. So these women also have like so much of wisdom that has, passed down through generations, but somehow because we've not been around that village or that tribe while growing up and consistently, we find it a little harder to, go with what is being passed down to us. And life has come a full circle to me now because I was very rebellious. I was like, no, I'll do my own thing and I'm, whatever makes sense to me. But now I'm beginning to realize that maybe what the previous generation is telling us did have some logical reasoning. And I question, and if it makes sense to me in some logical way, then I do it. But if it doesn't, and if I think that, if there is any bias or if there is any discriminatory aspect to it, then I don't. But if I find a logical reason, like for example, there is this myth where, they say that a mother should not just wash her hair and feet, right? So most people would think this is just a myth. But for people like me, I'm asthmatic, I have sinus issues, and I have allergies. A person like me is impacted. So, the reasoning behind that is that the hair is dry means take care of the mother, right? But when you say that the child will get a cold, you're more likely to follow it than when you're caring for the mother. Right. Similarly, there are these myths, right, which say that a mother should not be cooking for 40 days because the food gets spoiled, or so it's actually the food doesn't get spoiled. It's the mother who needs to be resting, right? And it's been twisted around to involve the baby because nobody cares about the mother, right? So all of these, like I won't say all, a huge part of these traditions, even the diet, right, postpartum diet, which is supposed to be sattvic, easy to digest, right? I was like, no, what is this and all. Then one day I ate like a dal and my child was massively upset. And then I was like, okay, for 40 days I'll do it. It's fine. I can live with this for 40 days. So what I'm saying is now it's become a full circle. Of course, I'm a parent of 10 years now. So, I'm not a confused mother anymore. So it really is a full circle, right? So it's also about taking that wisdom, right? And of course, the previous generation was introduced to formula. So filtering a bit also and saying that, okay, did this person actually breastfeed? Did this person not breastfeed? And then you find that. So on BSIM, what happens is a lot of like-minded women who want to breastfeed. So it becomes a bit easier to trust that information, right? Versus someone who was not supported on her breastfeeding goals, who breastfed for 3 months or 6 months, something like that. So yeah,
Wow,
it's a mix of basically no right and wrong.
Also,
As we say
what
on
I
BSIM,
felt,
right? On BSIM, we're very clear. We say that, there's no right and wrong. Because some people want to give colic aid. Some people want to give traditional home medicines. Why should I say that traditional home medicines are wrong? Why is it better than a chemical? So whatever works for you, right? Intuitively, if you feel that I want to give like a home remedy for 6 months, like which I did, right? Versus a colic aid or some medications or antibiotics, that's your parenting choice, right? I'm not here to judge you. What works for you works for you. So just find out what your options are. Like if I knew that antibiotics cause worse immunity for the child after taking antibiotics, then I can take that informed decision that it'll impact my immunity adversely. It may impact my child's immunity adversely, and then I can take that call whether I should medicate a cold or a cough with an antibiotic, something like that. I think I've digressed far too much. Sorry.
No, it's so nice actually to hear such good points. Such, yeah, we are just taking the knowledge.
I just want to share one thing. The most that I felt connected to BSIM was that, I felt like, I'm not alone. Like, so badly struggling while, like, in those initial days after the birth of my baby, and really badly struggling. And I could see that, there are other people around who are having the same issues. It's not something that, oh, even she's suffering, let me be happy. It's not like that. But then, it's just that, that there are people who are there. And it's not just me who's like, all alone. That massively gave me like, it gave me so much of strength and support. I can't put it down in words. Really, thank you so much for coming up with that group, Adhunika. It was like, I guess that was the best thing that I did for myself in the initial days after the birth of my baby. So thank you so much for that. Like, I can't thank you enough. Like, personally, I can't thank you enough for that.
You're most welcome.
Yeah, I hope we meet someday.
I hope
thank
so.
you personally. Yes.
I hope.
And Miss Adhunika, would you like to tell something about your book, Breast Potion?
So what happened is when I started responding to queries on BSIM, I realized that there is a certain number of women who still don't know that BSIM exists, right? So on BSIM, we are providing information 24/7. It's a free support group. You don't have to pay. Now we've also moved a lot of our information on our website, which is available for free. You don't have to pay a penny to get that information, right? But I realized that there are still some people who don't know this breastfeeding information, and how do I really reach out to them? And that's how I came up with this book. It's called Breast Potion. And I have written it as simply as I could, right? Because, I mean, a mother and a baby breastfeeding is literally like a cow breastfeeding its calf, or, a mother giraffe breastfeeding its baby, right? It's literally biology. It's as simple as how it would be if you were in the wild, right? You were just going to be feeding your baby. So I have kept this book so simple, like for a new mother, because you're already bombarded with so much of information. You've just given birth, could be vaginal, could be a cesarean, could be anything. So just to either prepare, yourself for breastfeeding ideally before the baby comes along, or, as soon as the baby is born. I just want to mention that, a lot of women think that, okay, I need to focus on weight loss, right? Everybody did that. I'm not here to judge anybody, right? I was also one of those moms. So talking about weight loss or, just giving birth vaginally, those are the two things that I think most of us worry about. And we think that, okay, the baby is going to be born, it's going to attach itself to the breast and magic will happen. You don't have to figure out breastfeeding. It's just going to happen magically, right? So we were not supposed to be breastfeeding in isolation. We were supposed to be breastfeeding with our sisters-in-law, with our cousins, with our friends, with our, aunts and everybody, right? Even aunts sometimes were of similar ages, right? So that wisdom was being passed on to us. And now suddenly we find ourselves in this nuclear setup, crying at night, not understanding what is going on with us, what is going on with our baby. Is our baby getting enough milk? Is what my mom saying correct? Is what my mother-in-law saying correct? Is that what my pediatrician saying is correct? So there's a whole lot of confusion. And with that intention, I wrote this book. It's called Breast Potion. I really wish, not because I want to increase the sales of the book. I mean, it's hardly like a profit-making initiative.
Yeah, I wish that too. I really wish that too. I mean, whatever you said is just like, it's
just
really something. I just want to
just
ask
want
one thing, Adhunika, like,
just want
is
everyone to have
this book
access to this information, right? And so this book is actually streamlined in how you should get the information. Like suppose a person comes to the Facebook group and they're reluctant to post, they don't know where to start, right? This is just a streamlined information of what is the must know, for a mother who is expecting, and I don't want to say mother, yeah. I mean, fathers can just as much be involved in reading this book because it's essentials of breastfeeding for expectant parents, right? It's not something only a woman should read. So a man can read this book just as much. A partner, a father, a father actually attended one of our, breastfeeding webinars. So, everyone can really come together to support that woman. So this is the intention behind writing the book, so that more women get this information, in their hands, by their bedside, reading all of this whenever they feel like they're confused or they're doubting their milk supply or they feel that they're doing something massively wrong as a parent.
Is it relevant even for women who have given birth? Like, ideally women should prepare for breastfeeding before the baby is born, get all the knowledge and then, like, equip themselves with the right information. So is this book relevant even for women who have just given birth and are struggling with breastfeeding?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there is a section on how you can bring the baby, like to latch on if you're formula feeding, how do you wean off formula. All of this information is there. There's also a separate chapter for women who are resuming employment. So if you are going to be separated from your child and, you want to express breast milk, should it be offered, where it needs to be stored in the refrigerator, what is storage guidelines, how long can it be in the freezer, how soon do you have to start expressing breast milk, do you have to buy a pump, can you manage without a pump, like all of these questions have been covered in the book, the breastfeeding aspect specifically.
Okay. I think even though I'm not planning a second baby, I'll definitely plan on reading this book.
I sometimes think I want to have third baby just because I want so much, it'll be like a breeze, to go through the thought. But no, that's a very temporary thought.
I do get that feeling, but then I look at my baby and I think that, like, then that feeling goes away.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so, but yeah, I don't know how many kids each of you have, but like I have 2 kids. Okay, so you have one, Vidya. So I have 2 kids, and when you have one, I'm a big proponent of having 2 kids, and I'm not giving you unsolicited advice. I don't know you. I'm just talking about my experience. I just feel like they play with each other. So it's just like my hands are free now. I don't have to sit and play with, a child all the time. They can keep themselves occupied. So, but after 2, it's like, it's a bit of a push to try and get another one into the picture. So that's not happening. But yeah, I would say that it's a good book from Indian perspective. It talks about mother's diet. It talks about the 4th trimester, about taking rest, caring for yourself. It's perfectly okay. Like I remember when my first child was born, I was very fidgety, very restless, moving my pen, and I was like, because I was working like out of the house for the longest time, and suddenly I was like, what do I do now? Where's my to-do list? Do I have to just lie down and just feed my baby? So it was just very difficult for me to slow down and really accept and acknowledge that I'm feeding a baby, I'm growing a baby, it's my time to slow down, right? So all of these things, and I read this very interesting statement that, how you care for yourself in the first 40 days will decide how your health is going to be for the rest of your life, right? And I think it may hold true because in our tradition, in our country, we have this confinement period, which is anywhere from 40 days to 3 months, where the mother is cared for immensely. I mean, of course, there are exceptions where there are sour relationships with parents. So I'm not talking about those situations, but in most cases, a mother will be mothered. When I gave birth in Ireland, there were women who came home on day 3 and they were actually cooking, cleaning, caring for their children. So we are really privileged, at least those who have that privilege to be taken care of, right? And we should take that that energy and take care of ourselves, let others take care of us, and read this book, watch movies, and slow down and relax.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
I hope
Adhunika, for
mothers,
that great
yeah,
insight.
I hope, yeah, and I hope, pregnant mothers and new mothers who in their postpartum period watch this session, and please take care of yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
please, you're very
Yes.
important.
Nilufer, would you like to answer? Sorry, ask the question. In corporate ones you want to ask.
Okay, so we talk about equal opportunity in corporate offices, okay, and it is a good thing, okay, and important also. But do you think that this is applicable to new mothers? Okay,
Yeah.
I personally find this question very tricky. And basically, the expectations are set for employees and R&Rs are set. So, do you think it is fair to expect this from the new mothers? Like just want to add a little bit to it because today I was writing an article on maternity leave in India, and there was some points which I I learned through my research. I actually went through the maternity acts of India, like the 1961 act and the 2017 act, and there were some surprising things that came out. You may be aware of them already, but I wasn't aware. I don't know how many other people are aware, but as per the 2017 amendment of the Maternity Leave Act, women are supposed to take, and the employers are supposed to provide 4 breaks to a new mother after she resumes her work after maternity leave, 4 breaks in the day so that she can go and feed her baby up until the baby reaches 15 months of age. This is there in this is a provision of the government of India. And, companies who are having more than 50 employees are supposed to have a creche facility in vicinity. So basically the baby is there in the creche, and the mom who's working can take 4 breaks, and the duration of the breaks should be say 20 minutes for feeding time. That's basically as per what is prescribed. So assuming 20 minutes for feeding time, 10 minutes travel time, so maybe half an hour worth of breaks only for feeding the baby, and then along with she also needs to break for her own rest. So this is where, this rule has been made by our government to support new moms, okay? But the corporate is literally kind of a jungle wherein everyone is running towards something, okay? And it's really complicated and tricky because then then okay, I'll let you talk about it because I'm I'll let you answer that. I just got too emotional with it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think talking about gender equity, it's a very triggering topic for most. But the fact remains that there is no equity in most corporate spaces today, and that's just the way it is. So we have this petition on change.org. It's called Express at Work, because there are women even today, they're going to toilets to express their breast milk. So what gender equality and gender equity we're talking about, I really don't know, because these women are like in banks, public sector units. There is no place where you can express your breast milk. There's no storage room. There's no meeting room where milk can be expressed. And there are so many such organizations where women are still going to a toilet. Women are running to a mall, right? They don't even have clean toilets. And if they do have clean toilets, they shouldn't be, expressing milk in a toilet. So we have this petition at www.change.org/ it's called Express at Work, where we talk about, why there should be, at least a room where a mother can express her breast milk. And like you rightly mentioned, until the child is 15 months old, a mother is eligible to take those breaks. Whether she goes directly to feed the baby at the creche or whether she utilizes it to express her breast milk is completely her prerogative. But she is entitled, and our government, if I compare it to so many other, developed country policies that we have, we're really far ahead because we have got 6 months maternity leave to
Yes.
begin with. Some developed countries have like zero maternity leave or 2 weeks. The employer is not obligated to provide any maternity leave, right? So we are far ahead in that perspective. We also have breaks. So this petition is really about just having that space for women to express breast milk. And there are so many challenges, like there are first-hand experiences. Like we have heard of women who've not been promoted because they were going on maternity leave, right? We are still in this day and age. It doesn't shock you. It doesn't, you're not like, oh my God, how could this happen? You're like, oh God, really? These things are happening even today. Because I remember when I was working in the organized corporate sector, there was a good friend of mine who didn't get promoted because she was going on maternity leave. So the promotion is in lieu of the work that you have done. And you can't not give that promotion to a woman because she's not going to be around, right, for the next 6 to 9 months, because women club their paid leave as well. So yes, there is inequality, there is gender disparity, there is all of these things. So we are working towards policy level changes as well, and that's why we have launched this petition. We are hoping, for more and more people to get traction on this, more and more people to realize that this is important. If you're talking about bringing women back, you want 50%, male to female or other, like the ratio needs to be getting fixed. The gender wage gap literally increases the most after a mother takes maternity break. So if you really want to talk about gender wage gap and bringing down that, then you really need to be bringing mothers back to the workforce. And most people are aware today that breastfeeding is important, and they should not have to make the choice between providing the best for their child versus choosing employment. So that's what the petition is about. There are other petitions that we are also running. One is another one is www.change.org/freedom to nurse, where we talk about a woman not dealing with discrimination when she's breastfeeding out and about in public. So there are instances where a mother at a restaurant is told to, leave the premise, or there are places when a mother goes to a mall, and this is a true story. And that's what launched our petition, that a mother was in a mall and she was asked to feed in a toilet, but the toilet was not functional. And she was a new mother. So she didn't know, she was not confident to feed anywhere. So there should be no discrimination against a woman who's breastfeeding in public. So that's another petition we have been working on. We're also working on a petition to make it mandatory for medical professionals to get lactation education. Right? There's a huge gap today because lactation education is not being taught to medical professionals. So this is another petition that we are working on, which is called Action Lactation. So these are all the policy level changes that need to come about, because see, a mother never ever fails at breastfeeding, never, right? It's only her support system that was not able to support her adequately. And the support system comes in the form of corporate spaces, government policies, education by medical professionals, support by friends and family. So it's like a whole bubble that is supposed to protect her. And if there is a gap in that, it's going to crack, and it's not going to be able to protect the mother, when she wants to breastfeed. So these are some of the things that we are doing. We do talk about these things whenever possible, but yeah, it's not spoken about enough. Breastfeeding is not, and considering the fact that impacts 100% of the population, right? So there is like this World Diabetes Day, there is World Cancer. I'm not trying to minimize that. My father was a cancer patient, so I'm not saying that there should be no awareness about cancer, but the breastfeeding literally will impact every single person on the planet, literally every single, like 100% of the population. So what are we doing to protect our mothers, and what are we doing to protect our babies, right? We need to do what we can.
Amazing. Amazing. Like,
I can speak on this for 2 hours, but just have to be the premise of the concept.
Can literally see your passion here. Yeah.
I think it's a very tough balance for me, because sometimes my blood starts to boil, and then I have to be like, no, you have to keep fighting this battle, So if you're going to start getting really upset about it, then you're not going to last long in the war. So you just have to keep going, right? Like, because we have, we are in a position, of privilege to really raise our voices,
Yes.
right? When if you have the gift, like I really feel, how can I use my gifts for the betterment of humanity? So if I have a gift of communicating well, or if I have a gift of elocution or articulation and all of that, how can I use it to help people? How can I use it to improve society? So I think each of us who has that ability, like, of course, sometimes it feels like there is so many bad things, and I have dealt with that personally, right? I feel there's so many bad things. How can I change it all? But then I don't need to change it all, right? I can just, do what I can when I can. So just using our gifts and privilege to, amplify the voices of women who don't have this opportunity, right? Where people hear them out. So yeah.
Definitely, and we
So
would love
much
to
for
support
that,
you in
Adhunika.
this petition. Yes.
I just got one question, okay? I like, I'll try to frame it, in the best way possible. So we spoke about things like, that women, like, the breastfeeding moms, after they resume back their work, they are they can take 4 breaks during the day. And so like, the entire day, say the work day, the clock in and clock out, it's say 9 hours, okay, or 10 hours. So 10 hours of time, and from that, say, like, around 4 hours is taken by the woman for, nursing her baby, or like, expressing her milk, or whatever she wants to use it for. Then, like, so that 2 hours, she is losing her productivity. I'm being a little bit, like, objective, or like, calculative over here, but then she loses her productivity for the. Now, when it comes to, because we also spoke about promotions and, like, the appraisal cycles and the other things that happen in office. So the RNRs and, like, the KPIs, everything has set the same for male employees as well as the female employees. Now, if we are going to consider this, like, time which the woman takes out from her
I'll tell
schedule,
you
okay,
how this
again,
works
like,
in a
this is, yeah,
may I, yeah. So when I was working
yes,
in a
please.
corporate IT space, there was one person who worked with me who literally came and turned on the machine and immediately went for coffee. Okay. Came back, worked for a few hours. Okay. Went for a lunch break. Okay. Came back, again some sutta break, again some coffee break. Again, literally, I was like, what is going on with these people's productivity, right? So I think, I mean, this is, I'm not saying this out of my imagination. I've been there, and I used to be like, and then you pressurize other
No,
people to
it's
stay
true.
longer
It's true.
because it's true, right? There are men taking a sutta break every 45 minutes, every 1.5 hours. Like, what about that? And they are there for 20, 25
They go
minutes.
in
It's not like they're just,
they go
it's not like
in
they're
groups,
just,
it's not even just one
no,
person.
no. It's exactly 5 people who will stand up. Even if everyone is not smoking, those 4 people will join that person outside in the balcony. One person is having a chai or a coffee from the coffee vending machine, and the other guy is smoking. This is what we are seeing every day. So, like, I don't think it's fair, that someone who is, and we all know a mother who is, choosing to work outside the house, she's going to be the most productive person ever. Let's be honest, right? She's like, I want to rush home to my child, and I want to cut the crap. I don't want any coffee break. I don't want sutta break. I don't want lunch break. I don't want chai break, snack break, miscellaneous breaks. Let me just get my work done, right? And let me exit this while I've done my work. I'm not here to, take 15 breaks. So I think, like, somewhere it really should boil down to the productivity, the output, and not really, is this mother breastfeeding? Is she expressing milk? How many breaks has she taken? So I think the other problem that we have really dealt with today is that it's a chicken and problem, that there are no women at leadership positions. When there are no women at leadership positions, men don't understand why this is a problem. It's enabled, and then women leave and reach leadership positions. So it's like a bit of a cycle which a lot of women are very doing excellent jobs of breaking. Like, we have tried to speak to corporates about this, and it all comes down to the man at the top level. And then what? The man who has never breastfed, the man who doesn't have, who's, maybe, and I think about 10-15 years ago, the women who were older to us, they were so amazingly awesome. They compromised on breastfeeding, right? They said that I want to pursue my career, I'm going to give my child formula. I'm not judging them. That's what their circumstances were, right? At that time, there wasn't even awareness about how important breastfeeding is, or that it is even not comparable to formula. So that another aspect comes in. Sometimes you hit there is one lady in the leadership position who's not breastfed, so she feels that it's not important to be supported. So, these are all conversations that, will and should be happening everywhere. But those are the challenges. I think there are some exceptional organizations, honestly, don't sometimes it feels like, oh my god, what is this weight on my head cloud. But sorry, my kids are going to be here and it's going to be a bit noisy, but I'm going to try. The thing is, the network was not that great inside, that's why I came out. Just 1 second, hold on. But yeah, so in large organizations, there are some great large organizations where breastfeeding is supported, and there are policies to support breastfeeding, there are policies to enable women. So people are going in that direction. So it's a good time to be alive. It's a good time to observe all of these transitions taking place. And rather than being like the sole warrior, if I may call it that, there are people talking about this today. So that's all the good news. I'm always looking for the good news, as you can tell. So there is light at the end of the tunnel, basically.
I'm having goosebumps. The entire conversation, yeah.
I just have one more point to add to this, Adhunika. Great insights. I'm getting from you, and I'm like kind of absorbing them in. So when you said this thing, just one thing popped up in my head, and I want to know your opinion on it. You also said, the book that you have written, Breast Potion, you want men also to read it. Because it's not just the woman's job. Men should also be equally involved in this part. So when it comes to corporates, since we're talking about corporates, and fine, don't you think it is essential for all the employees, men and women, to be aware about the importance of breastfeeding? So that you know, people would look down on the woman who is actually struggling to breastfeed her baby, maintain her work, house, and be great and awesome and everything. I just don't want that woman's moral to be let down because of some people who are not aware or who are not literate enough to understand the importance of breastfeeding and the important work that the woman is doing for the society. It's, of course, it's her baby, it's her life, it's her family, but then this is overall impacting the society.
No, but then, no, let's be honest, like in having lived in European countries, I'm just saying that there it was given, the woman was given importance because you're giving birth to future taxpayers. You're literally, giving birth to progeny. You're taking you're taking care of the next generation. So it's not a selfish thing that you're doing. Literally, you're giving birth. And like for the longest part of my life, I was raised by a single woman, my mother, and I lived my life thinking that I can do whatever a man can do. And whether it was at a job or at an interview or whatever. But then later when I gave birth, I realized this is what a man cannot do. When I gave birth and when I was breastfeeding, I realized that this is what the man can't do. The man literally cannot stand on the stage with me and compete with me here, because this is where I am. No one can come and take that away from me. And I think that's where we really need to own our power and really need to stop fighting for, we are, there's no equality, because it's literally like a yin and a yang. My husband can pick up a 30 kg suitcase with much greater ease than I can. Right. So literally tapping into the differences and celebrating the differences between the genders, rather than, then forcing one to fit into one mold that we don't fit into. Like I can't fight a man even if I work out in the gym every day. Right. Or I
want to give out, I really want to clap for this.
I can't fight a man. I literally cannot fight a man if I work out in the gym every day. A man who never goes to the gym, because physiologically, he is, he has a different muscle tone, he has a different body size, everything. He can overpower me. So, I I mean, we've got to work with what we have and what we don't, right? So this is our gift, this is not our gift. So when we go to our work, also we need to own that awesomeness that we are, rather than, being like, oh my God, this is a bad thing, or oh my God, how do I take it up? Oh my God, people are going to judge me. Like, no, you're doing something freaking awesome. Like, show that up in your body language. Bring it up, be a badass. Asterisks there. I don't know if it's allowed, but yeah. So just own that power and take that up. Don't feel shy. Don't feel coy. Don't feel that you're doing something bad, selfish, just having a child. It was your decision. You didn't need to have a child. Of course, it was my decision to have a child, but it's also my decision to resume employment. And nobody is here to judge me, like, because I know that there are people who have not been allotted to specific projects because they chose to breastfeed. Again, unfortunate. Yes. But you're not shocked, right? Nobody's shocked this has happened to somebody. That's how it is today. So using our power, using our voices, changing our body language, this is what we can do. And sometimes even saying, okay, I'll get a poor rating this time, let it be, who cares? Right? Like, I mean, you're already feeding a baby, you're already caring for a child. You don't need to be exceptional at everything. You literally don't need to be a superhuman. It's okay if you don't get your A+ rating that you've been getting all this while and been the top level performer. You let it slide, and then the baby's not going to be 6 months old or 1 year old for too long, and then you pick it up when the baby's older, when you have the relevant support, if you do, and you're lucky with that. So
yeah, I felt like my story. Yeah. Thank you so much. Do you have 2 minutes of your time, Ms. Adhunika, for our last question?
Last thing. I just want to say that in our endeavor to have more mothers get supported with lactation, we've come up with a lactation course. Because I wanted to do a lactation course and I didn't find anything that was relevant for me. Like, I found that I would have to travel somewhere to study lactation, or I had to do an American course, which was very expensive. I didn't find anything relevant to me. So we've come up with a lactation course. Mothers, are really the forefront, of supporting other women, and of course medical professionals who need to be supporting other mothers. So we've come up with our own lactation course, and it's so if you are interested in doing the lactation course, please do write to us. Get in touch with us at info@bsim.org.in, and we are hoping that every woman who wants to breastfeed gets that support one way or the other. And it doesn't have to be through us, just being very clear, right? This is not about BSIM. This is not about Adhunika. This is not about us at all. We're just hoping that women don't have to deal with discrimination, right? Because a mother not being able to breastfeed, which is literally something that she does after she gives birth to, she should not have to deal with that. No mother should be able to. Should have to deal with that. Yeah.
Yes.
Completely agree with you. So this course, Adhunika, this is for women to get certified as lactation professionals, if I'm right?
So we are calling them lactation enablers, because I think that we are enabling other women on their own breastfeeding journey. So we are calling ourselves lactation enablers, and there is 3 levels of the course. One is just a peer counselor level, because I think when I started breastfeeding, I read so much about it. Like, I would talk on for 2 hours to my friends on the phone that this is how demand and supply works, and all gyan I used to give. But I didn't have a course just to make sure that I had my facts right as a mother. I was like, okay, I'm a mother, I know demand and supply, and that's it. So the first level is just to have that actual information for mothers to understand what is actually breastfeeding, why is it important, how do you really guide someone with basic latch and positioning. Then the second level is for mothers who want to do consults, and the third level is for mothers who want to work, or not just mothers, but it's also for medical professionals, but they can work in hospitals as well. So that's how the 3 levels have been calibrated and designed.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that information. Yeah.
And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we are privileged, like more than privileged, to have you here and talk to us. It's like, yeah, I'm just looking at my inspiration and talking to you. So, yeah. I guess we are done with the question.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah?
We are done. Would you like to tell something or suggest something to pregnant or new mothers who are watching and who will watch this session later, Adhunika?
I just want to tell expectant and new mothers that it's never your fault if breastfeeding is not working out. So if you are expecting, please learn about breastfeeding before the baby comes along. Read a book, attend a class, speak to your friends, find out a good lactation professional, like build your own support network, because if breastfeeding is not working out, it's never going to be because of you. It's not your fault. And if you're a new mother, please, don't feel like it's your fault. Don't take it personally, because what happens sometimes, what is happening nowadays more so is a lot of women are having cesareans. They give birth via cesarean, again, never their fault, right? And then they say, oh, I couldn't even give birth to my baby, how can I breastfeed my baby, right? It's a very emotional, uh, I mean, my heart breaks for these women, right? It's really not their fault if they have a cesarean, or if they are feeding. It's really nothing to do with you. Please take support. Talk to your friends. Don't feel shy. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel guilty. Talk to your friends. Go to a lactation supporter, enabler, professional. Go and talk to them. Take some help, and that's okay. You're doing the best that you can, and that's all that should matter at the end of the day. That's all that should matter.
Thank you so much for joining us. Really, thank you. Thank you for giving your time.
Very, very long day today, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know how this live is going to go, because I was so exhausted. But it's been so wonderful. The energy that you all are carrying has literally like come across, through the phone, which is like, I'm actually like reverberating with energy. Like your energy has been very, very contagious. And it's been very positive and very happy. So thank you so much. It's been a wonderful conversation. And I'm very grateful for everything that you have said and for everything that you're doing. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Hearing these words from you is like, it's a complete different level. Yeah, Vidya, I'll let you talk because I've been talking.
I just want to say, let us know if we can support in any way. We are so charged up with the petitions. Please let us know, Adhunika.
I'll share the links.
I just noted them down, all three of them. I'm just going to go and do a little bit of my research on this. Express at work, freedom to nurse, action, lactation. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be a part of that petition by signing it, definitely. It's awesome, Adhunika. Everything that you've been in true sense, a social entrepreneur. And really salute you for the amazing work you've done and you are continuing to do. Amazing. You're really an inspiration to every woman out there. And I really feel that I prayed happiness without even knowing you. I was so thankful to the person who started this group, and that's something that just comes from within. So I guess you've earned a lot of love from everyone out there.
Yes.
And amazing, just amazing. I was really the best evening I had in this week to have you here with us. Just amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I've really got tears in my eyes. I get very easily overwhelmed.
I didn't mean that.
No, these are all happiness. You don't have to apologize. And earlier, I used to feel, I need to hide this, but I don't. It's really, I just carry a lot of energy with me. And I mean, really, your words have meant a lot to me. And I can see the way you say it, that you mean it, right? You're not saying it out of any, formality or anything. So thank you so much.
Not at all.
I could be a part of your life.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for all the warm welcome and the words that you've given me. And I wish you both and everyone in the community a lot of happiness, a lot of power, and a lot of great energy.
Oh, thank you.
Same here.
Yeah, and you take care. You take care. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.